Radio, I'm Christina Onnested. House lawmakers will try again today to nominate a leader after Republicans failed to choose one yesterday. California's Kevin McCarthy became the first in his party in more than a century to not secure enough votes to ascend to House Speaker. Democrats' leader in the House, the first black man to lead a major party, Hakeem Jeffries, garnered more votes than McCarthy. He earned 112, but it's still not the 218 needed as Republicans control the House. Republican Donald Trump has weighed in, urging Republicans to vote for McCarthy. Max Pringle has more.
Kevin McCarthy needed 218 votes to be elected Speaker. He got only 202 in the third round after a block of hard-right members refused to back him. New York Republican Elise Stefanik formally nominated the California Republican for Speaker and rattled off a list of his conservative bona fides.
Kevin McCarthy is a strong conservative. He is proudly pro-life, a supporter of our Second Amendment rights, and he is committed to stopping wasteful government spending and shrinking the size of government.
Electing a speaker is the first order of business for the new Congress. No new legislative business can happen without one. Among the 20 or so Republicans opposing McCarthy's nomination is Texas Representative Chip Roy, who backs fellow MAGA Republican Jim Jordan of Ohio.
We do not have the tools or the leadership yet to stop the swamp for rolling over the American people. Jim has been doing it. He has a track record of doing it.
However, Congressman Jordan urged his GOP colleagues to unite behind McCarthy.
The differences we may have, they pale in comparison to the differences between us and the left, which now unfortunately controls the other party.
I'm Max Pringle.
In the Senate, Patty Murray, a Democrat from Washington, became the first woman president pro tempore. Catherine Carley reports there are other firsts in Congress.
Democratic Senator Patty Murray of Washington touted the accomplishments of her party in 2022 before stepping in as the first female Senate president pro tempore, putting her third in the line of presidential succession.
We sat down to really negotiate these issues, like families sent us here to do, because we focused on fighting these crises, not fighting each other.
Republican Mitch McConnell also became the longest-serving Senate leader in history, while Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer became the longest-serving senator from New York. Democratic Representative Maxwell Frost of Florida may be the first member of Gen Z elected to Congress.
It's about people versus the problem, and that's the way we're going to move forward here in Florida. It can't just be about parties.
At age 25, he also joins a record number of Hispanic legislators, including 5 Republicans and 9 Democrats. I'm Catherine Carley for Pacifica Network and Public News Service.
A record number of women are in Congress, 149, 2 more than last year. That's still a third of the 535 members of Congress, 27.9%, despite the fact that women turned out in higher numbers than men in the November midterms last year, according to the Center for American Women in Politics. This year, both chambers of Congress will have a total of 107 female Democratic lawmakers and 42 female Republican lawmakers. The Democratic Party has 72% of women in Congress. The Food and Drug Administration has finalized a rule change that allows women seeking abortion pills to get them through the mail, replacing a long-standing requirement that they pick up the medicine in person. The Biden administration implemented the change last year, announcing it would no longer enforce the dispensing rule. The action Tuesday formally updates the drug's labeling to allow women to get a prescription via telehealth consultation with a health professional and then receive the pills, known as mifesterone, through the mail where permitted by law. A group of video game testers has formed Microsoft's first labor union in the U.S., which will also be the largest in the video game industry. The Communication Workers of America said a majority of about 300 quality assurance workers at Microsoft video game subsidiary ZeniMax Studios has voted to join the union. The Russian military says unauthorized use of cell phones by Russian soldiers calling home led to the deadly Ukrainian rocket attack in a Donetsk facility where they were stationed. It raised the death toll from the weekend's attack to 89. Ukraine says more than 100 were killed. The attack was one of the deadliest on the Kremlin's forces since the start of the war over 10 months ago, and it marked yet another setback for the Kremlin's war effort in Ukraine. More setbacks could be on the way as Ukraine is readying to receive U.S. Patriot missile system. Ukraine's military said Russia launched 18 airstrikes, 7 missile strikes, and more than 85 attacks in the last 24 hours on Ukraine, damaging civilian infrastructure in 3 cities, Kherson, Kramatorsk, and Zaporizhia. I'm Christina Onnested reporting for Pacifica Radio.